sure what their strategy is on this. If my stats were correct, this is a map that they struggle on. And, you know, I wasn't on cast with you when you talked about Winston and his squatter rights. So you want to regale us with the story that you don't think Winston has a right to be in Gibraltar?
Look, they shut down Overwatch many a year ago. He went to this facility that for whatever reason they didn't feel a need to do anything with, probably because it's out in the middle of nowhere. He hacked into the power grid and used it to just fuel whatever illicit activities he's doing. I mean, look,
illicit activities. He's calling back the heroes to save the world.
There are laws against.
Guy.
Okay, we have laws and due process for a reason. Winston is a terrible lawbreaker.
Wow.
Like, I'm sorry. These are all just official facts.
He's lucky he's not getting prosecuted. He's out of your jurisdiction. No pardon coming from ZP.
I would throw him in a jail with no peanut butter.
Not even at the commissary?
No, I would actually, there would be a picture of Winston and it would just say, do not sell peanut butter to this gorilla.
To this mammal. I think mammal's fair enough.
Mammal's good.
Would you taunt him, like, by putting a jar right outside of his cell?
I'm not cruel. I'm just fair.
Oh, I guess I've now exposed myself as the cruel one here. But I can do that dance. Ask me later, and I'll show you. I can also do the Winston dance. That's about it. That's the end of it. So we'll see what the defense wants to set up. And yeah, maybe I was kind of right. They don't play very far forward on the defense here. And yeah, what is this? They're playing Pack D. I hate this.
They're actually stacking the car wash is what they're doing right now. So we'll see if this works out. The few times we've seen this happen, it has not worked out well for the team that is down
putting it lightly.
Yeah, I mean, they're literally going to get flanked from all sides here. Maybe it works out, but right now, Fate is licking his chops. He's like, I can cleave this many people for free? I mean, he's actually seeing Billy Mays in his mind right now. Billy Mays here for cleave an entire team. However, I mean, Yikes for now has been holding back. The question is for how long.
I've never seen this work. I understand the theory behind it, but it's one of those things where the theory might be better than the actual execution. This is the best I've ever seen it work, to be honest. They've lasted way longer than any other team.
Well, the Reinhardt shield just broke, so they're going to have a moment here of vulnerability as, I mean, it's working longer than expected. Let's give credit is due.
Yeah.
The first few times we've seen this, they've just died immediately, and Immortals are just sitting here going, what?
Hey, there's the MP. They did it long enough to get the MP up. The two times we've seen this, the MP never got up. So that is the strategy behind it, right? You hack the pack, you get that second source of healing, and then you hold off long enough to stall them out. And they can't push the cart while you're there. That's the thing. You can't just ignore this and go past it. You have to evacuate from that room. So I'm happy to be proven wrong. I love new strategies. I love new ideas. I've seen this twice, and it was just below trash tier. They made it work. That's awesome.
I'm happy it worked, yes, because as you mentioned, the few times I've seen this, I mean, the room was just splattered with bodies and not in the good way.
Yeah, sounds like your party room.
Yeah, I mean, I was to say not a good way. Is there a good way then? It's more than 11, but the Gravitons going to come in here from Yikes, and it's a rather ambitious Graviton early on. Doesn't really get much, and going to get punished for the attempt. Gill uses the blade looking for a little bit more, and the threat of the blade has certainly unsettled the Yikes here. It's gotten them out of that room to some extent, but they're still near the payload. They still don't want to give up anything for free, but they're quickly running out of bodies to throw on the payload.
Yeah, in theory, this is where it all falls apart. I have no idea how Fate died to that. That was one of the easiest dodgeable self-destructs in the history of easily dodgeable self-destructs. Now, here's what I like about it, too, as a secondary effect. You have time to fight again.
You do have time to fight again in a sense, but they're really being slow in the rollout, so now they're going to have to go through choke points. This is not great. Also, Immortals has 2 support ultimates up here, and whether it be Barrier or Transcendence first, Yikes doesn't have a whole lot to deal with it, and just crushed in the choke point of the upper window. And I guess one good part, I don't think they're going to get staggered too much here, given how quickly the payload was captured relative to the 9.
Perhaps. They still got bodies out here kind of pressuring, waiting. Yet again, Space, waiting for the sweet release of Death there, is finally obliged by his counterpart and hyped. And similar to Assault, you want to ride this momentum. The next good push is right now. Graham is setting up for a pulse bomb, knows where the teams come in from.
Graham right now creeping, looking to just lob that right in. Doesn't want to throw it into the defensive matrix, which could be a threat risk. And the Razzle Dazzle right to the back line. Does plenty of damage. Not able to get the DMAC just yet, but he's a real threat in the back, and it means people aren't looking at Gildies from the front, who does finish that DMAC and starts going to town.
All Immortals on that fight. It's exactly what you want to see on your first offensive push through shuttle phase. No reason to even really take the top. That's a bit of a gamble by Grim, but sometimes you have to gamble. You know, able to DMAC was wonderful for them, able to take that out. So nice play from Grim. He's come alive today, and I questioned him a little earlier. Look, you could do a lot worse as a second DPS than Grim reality.
You certainly could. And by the way, Fate right now, this is an interesting spot where if the opportunity presented itself, he could just primal rage people off. For now, he's just going to save it, cleave people as they come in, and Immortals playing this very mechanically basic but effective here. They hold back, they punish Yikes as they come back in, and the Transcendence just seals the deal on top of the payload. And Hex, this is an incredibly fast time.
They are blazing through Gibraltar here, and a couple of late staggers mean a couple go down. Last is obviously has the biggest defender's advantage, one of the best hold, but you would ideally like to be able to hold on this hill and then it lasts. So the next fight, very important. Graham again creeping about.
Well, we talked about it the other day on Cast with Jason, where, you know, Tracer does creep more than other heroes. You think Reaper's a creeper in Overwatch, but Tracer is the one that just goes behind you late night and says, hiya, with an explosive. So it's actually very scary. Now the Dragon Blade comes in, Agility's moving forward, gets the early kill on the Za, and we'll see if that's enough to keep things moving forward.
Oh, you see like dainty footsteps that, oh man.
And then you wake up in the hospital with burns all over your body because you got exploded.
Wow. All right. I mean, I didn't want to go all the way through with that thought. I'm sure that my dreams will do that for me tonight, and or nightmares. Meanwhile, while the horror show comes into mind, Immortals have been crushing it. They've been going all the way through. Grim looking for someone on the pop out there, finds only D.Va. He's got Pulse Bomb waiting, and at some point, Yikes has to get a kill. That's my deep diving analysis. Yikes should try to kill Immortals. It would help.
Does killing help you win Overwatch games? Does preventing people from doing whatever they want, that helps. Kareem, going back to the good old days, he thought he was past this, but Dante layers in the Pulse Bomb to the back, and that should give Yikes what they need for a moment of reprieve.
No, Immortals does not want to let this one go. They use the Sound Barrier. Primal Rage still out there getting some good progress. Virgo will finally fall, though, so now they've used ults to try to close it out. Still a couple of late kills. This is great for them. Fate probably will die here, but reinforcements should come up now. They bought enough time. A beautiful bomb on a landing XQC.
How is Grim still alive? He was down to like 15 HP there for a second, still stalling out. They're not giving Yikes the moment to breathe. They're not giving Yikes any time to get a full reset. Even when they're fighting uneven numbers, they take the risk, and it's paying off as the Blade out once more for Agility. He's constantly out of its sheath, just trying to clear out the payload, and doesn't quite get what he's looking for here, as now Yikes still fighting back and forth. Like, this is pandemonium in a sense.
They're still into this, and we talked about it all throughout all the tournaments we've seen Immortals, and we've known Immortals for a very long time, back into this Sody Pop days, right? Yes. They always add something new to their game, and one of the last tournaments we saw, they're adding an aggressive element, a super aggression element, but they were still a team traditionally who like to reset, like to get a full 6 and go back into fights. Now they're adding the brawler, scrappy element to their game, and I love it.
I do like the pressure it puts on teams. The problem is this is the flip side where it didn't work out, and they did sort of waste a lot of their time advantage. They had 4 minutes here, Hex, and those were long fights. They weren't able to cleanly take out Yikes, and now Yikes has a possibility of the hold before last, so it is a bit of a double-edged sword as we see Grim creeping once more. The Pulse Bomb at the ready. He might say hi at any time, you never know, as he looks for his target. But he's caught out a little bit here, has to back up.
Yeah, gets a little bit of damage on, and now they have to deal with the prospect that is Grim looking for those backlines. Dante's going to come in and try to check him on Tracer, but I don't know if that's the best idea. Does get very low, gets out on the back. Dahoon already down from Agilities, while all the attention is focused on Grim. Agilities runs wild, 2 quick kills, support out of this fight.
And there's a Sound Barrier just to secure it a little bit more. It's not enough to save Hype's mech, but it is enough to let Immortals go even deeper. But space out of the skies, the self-destruct, treating Kareem to an explosion. And as a result, Yikes might very well still hold here.
Agilities gets dash resets enough to it. He has to bust out the blade, but only 50 HP. Not going to say much about that because it is desperation time. They had to throw everything they had at the wall. Fate will be the last one. Has to jump away, which is questionable in that circumstance. I don't think they were going to get any more progress anyway, because he was like 40 health, but you do want to jump towards
Justice, the Hex, at the end. Justice. Kareem. He didn't even care. It's like 4 people around him. We're losing the game. Dante. Die.
You mean Poetic Justice, the movie with Tupac Shakur and Janet Jackson? Clearly that's what you're talking about.
I have no idea what that movie is, and I'm proud for it.
That's all right, man. That's not that bad. Tupac plays a mailman. All right. Yeah, you into that?
You know what? I actually dreamt about Tupac as a mailman once. He dropped the beat in the mailbox. I don't know.
Oh, God, you're the worst.
You brought me down this path, Hex. You never knew.
I have, but I want to separate myself from it now. That's how I operate right there.
Way to shirk responsibility when things go badly. I mean, we're just finding out so much.
You knew this about me. You know that I will never take blame for anything. I'm a flawless individual created in Zenyatta's own image.
Hex is the guy who calls the cops at his own party and like sneaks out the back window.
I would never call the cops because you know how much I hate that knock.
You do hate the cop knock.
The cop knock. It puts fear into my heart.
I'm waking you up one day with that.
Yeah, and the day that we'll know specifically that we're not friends anymore.
I thought that was yesterday.
it was close. If you do that, I'm going to pretend to be you, get a key to your room, and wake you up with, hiya.
Okay, now we're not friends anymore, just so you know.
Sorry.
Bromance over. But take a look here at this defense, Hex, as it sets up. Immortals doesn't really look like they're going to be breaking mold too much. I don't think they're either going to be taking up residence in the new Yikes apartment underneath Gibraltar, where they couldn't quite get to where Winston was, but it was available, it was cheap.
I still thought it was a really cool strat. I mean, I've never seen it work. Again, I understand the theory inside of it, it was really cool to see work. I'm very proud of Yikes just to watch the new stuff. The innovation that this team can come up with sometimes is really cool to watch. Gingerpop's going to start out on the Widow just for that peak early on, looking to find if there's a super aggressive offense, if he can get something for free. Now he's going to rotate over the bridge, try to find something there, and does not, will go back and probably come back onto a support.
Public service reminder, Gingerpop normally plays main support. Just so you know.
There it is.
It is the rather rare Zenyatta into Widowmaker swap. But yeah, you take a look here. Yikes finds that their apartment is completely empty. Immortals has not taken up residence underneath the car wash, but Immortals will be pressuring them when they try and roll up that driveway.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know, it used to be called the car wash because Symmetra used to exist as a hero, and she'd put turrets under there, and she's got a really cool spray about it. Unfortunately, it has been a while. I want to watch Verbo here because he was one of the questions I had when they made all these changes. He was mainly going to run a Lucio, but they pressured him to run a lot of different things now. We'll see how his Ana goes.
Well, the Ana right now is working out well. He certainly is getting plenty of space from his team right here, but this is still a little bit rough for Immortals. They've given up a lot of room. Yikes already almost has this to the point. It's 0.23 away, so I almost wonder if Immortals was a little bit passive here. Even if they end up winning this fight, it does feel like they played with fire.
Yeah, they will get everyone healed up, though, and a couple of kills as Karif has gone on a killing spree of his own on Zenyatta. We've seen his abilities there, and they will be able to hold at the very least. So a nice stall out here. Grim, I think, is going to try to rotate up to glass. Yeah, that's exactly where he wants to go. This room is glass, by the way. That is a common call.
I'm happy Grim went up that way rather than going around instead of channeling his inner Harblue, which we did. That's still like the best game of Roadhog ever here.
Right.
We've seen. But Grim treating Dahoon to the Helix Rocket. And off of that, there's really nowhere else to go here from Yikes but death or back.
Yeah.
It's a difficult fight to win when you lose two people that clean.
Well, they use the boost onto Fate as well, just to push everyone out of there. Fate might just want to pop his Primal if he's not in a safe position right now. I don't know necessarily where he is. Here he comes back for heals. He's able to hold out of that Primal. And now they only had to use the boost to win that fight, pushed everyone back, and they're going to have a lot for this next defense. Under 2 minutes, ZP.
I actually think this is Yikes' window here, where they have a lot of ultimates charged up, and so is Immortals.
Yeah.
It is going to be an ultimate showdown that really decides whether or not Yikes is able to get through here, because if they blow everything here and don't get through, that is a disaster. Here they go. The barrier is coming in here early on. Early self-destruct, gonna be zoning Immortals back, but Immortals, they dive right back on. The Transcendence Karif goes in deep, and both Winston just playing Rock'em Sock'em robots here on top of the payload, but it's Grim. While the Winston's on the payload, he's not on Grim in the back. He has plenty of room to work with, and that's gonna put Immortals over the top as Yikes. They spend all of their ultimate money here and get nothing.
Oh, good old Grim alone on the high ground. I've seen his story before. I know how it ends. He's pretty good when you don't really bother him up there. Actually, it was a decent job to try to pressure him down, but if you don't have Pulse Bomb against a soldier who's got Biofield as Tracer, man, that's a tough prospect to win that fight. And so, especially against a soldier of the caliber of Grim. So, very difficult. Under a minute here, ZP. What do you see?
Well, we are down to a minute, as you just mentioned. If Yikes wants to get the consolation prize of one map, the comeback must happen now. They're going to have a heavy focus on the high ground. Tracer, Winston, D.Va all going to the top, and they find Verbo immediately. But will it be enough? Because the counter dive came in, both teams losing supports early on, but this is still better for Yikes. It is even all the way here so far, and now they're starting to go a little bit up. XQC barely able to escape danger there, was very low, got healed at the last moment, but Agility's still looking to be spoiler.
She is back. She's traveled through time and space to get health back. Agility's still alive. Says that he does not like that piece of concrete in particular. Throws the pulse bomb onto it, still stalling out. This is rough. Yikes does not have the bodies to continue to contest.
No, they don't. They weren't able to finish off Agilities, who stalled just enough for the rest of Immortals to come back out. And now it's Yikes on the back foot, on a whim and a prayer, looking for anything. XQC, the saddest Winston in the world. No health, surrounded by 4 enemies. He is going to fall as Yikes only has 3 people up here.
Visor up.
Hardly any are near the payload.
Visor up. This is a victory visor. You can just throw it right into the Diva on purpose with that excellent tracking right there. And Ginger Pop has switched over just for stall out. All over but the Cryin' as Immortals got better and better and stronger every map we went on. Scary team.
They've improved so much in the last month or so, and a lot of it does come from the roster change that they've done. Their organization takes improving in Overwatch very seriously. I mean, there's a lot of good things that Immortals does. Not only have they done some roster switch-ups here that have been very beneficial, they've implemented a new coaching staff, and to top it all off, I mean, they're an org that really prides things like player health, making sure people are eating and playing right, and honestly, it's worked out well for them, and I'm very curious to see just how far they go here in Contenders.
I would love to see them implement a new play of the game intro for Genji. Everyone uses that pumpkin slashing intro. On a more serious note, I mentioned that they're adding in that element of being scrappy and stalling out those fights, and you mentioned like it didn't work and there's the other side, but if you remember when they were trying to be aggressive in spawn camp, those didn't work early on either, but they kept at it and it got better and better and scarier.
And that's the thing is they have tried this before. They tried dive when it was first kind of coming into vogue, and it just didn't work out very well. This was when we wanted to see Grim so much on McCree because we were like, this is the only time you found success.
Yeah.
And X, to your point, it actually brought up a great memory, whereas one of the monthly melees where Rogue really just came back in with dive, and we didn't expect it. And then Immortals, like out of nowhere, when they weren't running dive at all, decided, we're going to run a dive defense on Gibraltar too. Yeah. And they got completely just walloped. They were wrecked. They didn't play well at all. And then we just saw over time, they used it in the next big tournament. You go, why are they doing this? But they were better. And they've gotten progressively better at this style of play over time.
Even looking back at the first qualifier, literally every match that we've been able to see them in has gotten better. And even down to the individual maps just today in this best of 4 series. And this actually brings up something that I wanted to ask you guys, because we talked about Grim Reality. We had some questions about him. What are your thoughts about his performance
I talked
today?
about him. I was wrong. Yeah. I was absolutely wrong. I thought he'd been struggling a little bit lately. I do think that not going for the enormous flanks makes him look much better. There's no doubt in the world about his mechanics. You were right, actually, about his positioning and his decision-making, and I think if he just listens to his team and in the environment he's in now, it could be great. There's never been a doubt about his mechanics. It's been some of like, I think a lot of it comes from when they were struggling, Grim's like, I gotta do something. I gotta carry this team, and some of those bad habits he got into carried over, but yeah, like I said, you could do a lot worse as your second DPS player on your team than Grim Reality of all people.
It was a much better showing where I do think he's had some struggles in recent times, but I think first of all is that he has had more time in Soldier, period, where you think back to how Grim got into the game, he was just McCreeing all day long, and it was one of those things where, wow, this guy plays a really good McCree, and you saw him really capitalize on that in tournaments in recent times. I think Soldier, his play has been improving over time, but perhaps the tank and support upgrades that they've gotten, where it does feel like they've been initiating better, getting better heals, etc., has given him the confidence to come in and just be a little bit more dominant with the Soldier play.
It has given them a level of cohesion that we haven't necessarily seen out of them, and I think that it is a testament to and this is a little bit outside of just this game and this map and this individual team, but the org itself, from the top down, has at least put forth their goals that have truly aligned with this level of growth and long-term goals. And it's netted them a victory here in the group stage. And so they're going to be moving on with 2 victories now out of the 3 games that they're going to have today. They'll be playing off stream again later. But you know what? We're going to go to a short break. We've got more Overwatch coming up here in just a bit here at the Overwatch Contenders.